Boy, these names are working me today, baby. Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertanton.com, coming to you with your no frills, the voice commentary from a singer. Tonight, 12 more contestants step into the battle ring and get to work with the voice superstar coaches and their superstar mentors, Patti Labelle, Tori, Gwen, Stefani, and Sean Diddy Combs. The first battle of the night was TeamBlake with Adam Wakefield versus Jared Harder. They did Can't You See by the Marshal Tucker Band, and Blake told Adam not to get lax on the song, and Gwen told Jared to find himself in the song during first rehearsal. And in final rehearsal, Jared played guitar while Adam played keys. Gwen said she wanted to see more of an emotional reaction between the two of them, and Blake wanted it to be a jam session. So Jared started this out with a nice strong vocal on guitar, and though Adam sounded just a little muted behind Jared, he had a great warmth to his voice. Loved the soul and blues in Adam's voice, and they made sure to make contact throughout the song, really looking at each other. This was well matched and their voices complemented each other well. I give it to Adam because of his runs and his growl and a more mature vocal, but Jared was great too. All the coaches stood for them. Xtina said it was dope and said they both can do it all but preferred Adam. Pharrell loved the soul coming out of Jared and complimented the note choices of Adam, also preferring him. Adam Levine said he could see Adam Wakefield going out with the Allman Brothers tomorrow. And Blake chose Adam Wakefield, saying he had the edge and no one stole Jared. TeamPharrell had Emily Keener versus Jonathan Bach, and they did Explosions by Ellie Goulding. And Diddy told Jonathan not to premeditate the emotions in the song, and Pharrell challenged him to belt a note that he was singing in falsetto. So in final rehearsal, they were all in each other's face. Diddy gave them some advice on how to arc the song and told them to tap into the emotion more. Then he gave them some staging notes. They gave each other a really big hug before they started this and didn't really face away from each other, but they were separated. Both their voices sounded very similar in this, and both were very emotional. I like the way she kind of stalked him around the stage before they faced each other. Her voice is so gorgeous, but he really surprised me with his range and tenderness. Then came the big notes they did together. They both nailed it. This was beautiful, and then another big hug afterwards. What's going on? What's really going on? Adam said together they weren't as harmonious as he wanted it to be and called them equals. Blake called Jonathan a good singer. Xtina said Jonathan enjoyed giving himself to the performance value more. And Pharrell chose Emily Keener because she's 17 and super clear on what she wants to do. Then we had TeamXtina with Daniel Passino versus Kristen Marie. They did Turning Tables by Adele, and from the start they were breathing together in this and so in sync. Xtina told Kristen to fill the space and vary the melody in the first rehearsal. Then in final rehearsal, Xtina pointed out that Kristen needed to differ herself from Adele and told Daniel to not lose his sense of louds and softs and textures. Daniel started this out sounding kind of like a soliloquy from Les Mis or something, and Kristen sounded very much like Adele. They had nice swelling harmonies, loved his emotion and such a sweet voice, but really liked her tone, and their performance of the song was heart-wrenching at times. So wonderful when Daniel went into his falsetto so softly and sweetly, but he also attacked the full vocal parts masterfully. A nice match, but I preferred Daniel. Pharrell mentioned Daniel's vocal control and note choices and said Daniel presented more of himself. Adam said Daniel had a better idea of where he wanted to go. Blake gravitated towards Daniel because of his enunciation and said he had trouble understanding the lyrics from Kristen, and Xtina chose Daniel Passino because he was strong and consistent with great instincts. And if you think I'm strong and consistent with great instincts, please make sure to thumb up the commentary and let me know that you are enjoying it. It also lets others know we are over here discussing the voice. Thank you once again for your engagements, and thank you so much for your thumbs and your comments. Next in montage, we got Moshumi won over Jonathan Hutcherson for TeamPharrell, Katherine won over Lily Green from TeamAdam, and Angie Keilhauer won over Theresa Guidry for TeamBlake. TeamPharrell was up next with Celso versus Nhira. They did Sugar by Maroon 5. Sugar, you're so sweet. Yeah, they made an arrangement before they went in the room for first rehearsal. I liked them both as they started, and Diddy told them whoever is most convincing would win. He told Brian he was coming in too strongly, and Pharrell asked for 20% more diction. They also told Abby she needed to connect more emotionally, and he gave them advice on how to break down the song line per line for the emotional content. In final rehearsal, they got some more notes from both judges, but they disagreed on what Brian should do with his diction, and I like them going back and forth, disagreeing but disagreeing nicely. nicely with each other. You know, we can agree to disagree, but still be agreeable with one another. Very much about respecting one another. They also got staging notes and ideas from Diddy. Then Brian started this all clear and crisp on stage, while Abby had a more melancholy sound. They both quickly stepped into this and didn't much follow the staging directions, but I was enjoying their vocals so much. So many colors to both of their voices, and they were well matched. The little change-ups in tempo were nice, and they were on top of every change and ended it very nicely. Adam was impressed. Brian sang it in his full voice and favored him. Blake called Brian incredible and told Abby there were so many tones to her voice and favored Brian. Xtina called Brian silky and smooth and also mentioned the different textures in Abby's choices, but agreed Brian won. So Pharrell chose Abby. Oh Lord, no he didn't. Why you go there? He make me so bad doing that, because she has a really wide range and came out swinging for the fence. Then Adam chimed in to steal, and so did Xtina, and Brian chose Team Adam. And Pharrell does this. He's done it before. He chooses the one who, I mean, he likes both of them, so he chooses the one that he thinks everyone else will not steal, and then gets the other one to be stolen, even though that one won the battle. It just, sometimes it drives me crazy. I think it comes from a very sweet, honest place, but I don't know. The person who wins the battle should win the battle. Rant over. And I didn't even announce it started. Here we go. Team Adam was up next with Caroline Burns versus Mike Chavo. They did Like I'm Gonna Lose You by Meghan Trainor, John Legend. And Tori noticed Mike was nervous and told him to be careful where he's placing his runs. Adam told Caroline to be more comfortable about the higher notes in first rehearsal. Tori sung along with her, and they gave Mike a harmony above Caroline. And they were sounding pretty good in final rehearsal, and just got a few more notes about watching each other to sync their voices even more. And Tori had chills on the last run through. And let me tell you, watching somebody's voices when you're doing the duet is a great thing, and I do it a lot when I'm on gigs, especially if I haven't worked with people before. When they're doing their stuff, I'm doing the background for them. I will watch what they're doing so that I can follow them exactly, you know, and get it like we've been rehearsing it all along, you know, so that I'm not out of sync with what they're doing. It really works. Try it. So Mike dropped his guitar for this and got the first shot on this vocal. Very wonderful, rich sound. I would have expected Caroline to sound thin and amateur next to him, but she matched his vocal very well on this. She's so tiny and sounded pretty mature until she went into the higher part of her register. She got off some nice runs on her verse, and they had a nice blend together. She seemed to be having a lot of fun on this, is the main thing that I noticed. She was really like just kind of jiving, she was singing, and she was doing her thing. I love that. More so for her than for him. He was very concentrated and watching her and everything, and she was just enjoying the moment. Blake said Mike was treating Caroline like it was all about her and let her shine more. Xtina called Caroline great and said Mike had a great consistency. Pharrell noticed Caroline wasn't nervous and had a good time, while he also enjoyed Mike and enjoyed the range he displayed. And Adam chose Caroline Burns because there's so much about her he wants to know more of. And in the Pimp Spot tonight, Team Xtina with Allison Porter versus Lacey Mandigo. They did California Dreamin' by the Mamas and Papas, as done by Sia, Xtina pointed out. In first rehearsal, Xtina told Lacey she could play more with the melody and sang it a little for her. Patti was all over the enunciation with Allison and told them both that a stiff singer never wins. Oh, I wrote this. Y'all tell me down in the comments what you think. Was it shade when Lacey said in her package that she was 18 and could still learn from the coaching? Oh, that really got me. Y'all know I was rolling out. Anyway, Lacey got to start this out and brought such a range of dynamics in such a short span, but Allison came in with the same nuances and blew up a really big note and continued to wail away throughout the performance. They both have a lot of power and can also pull it way back and then barrel forward. I mean, lots of dynamics were going on here, but I think Allison had a little more poise and excitement going in her performance. She was so exact and so strong, tight, and just totally kept pouncing on everything she could and just taking it higher and higher, and Xtina stood for them. Pharrell called Lacey a star and said Allison was a thunderstorm over and over again. Adam told Lacey the issues with her voice were going to be ironed out, but said Allison is ready. Blake felt like it was two different types of vocalists and agreed Lacey needs a little more time and called it Allison's moment. And Xtina chose to win Allison Porter naturally because her natural ability and vocal range were incredible. And then Blake chimed in to steal Lacey. Then she said that she had dreamed that Blake saved her after having a dream that Xtina was the only coach to turn for her in the blinds, and she was right both times if she's telling the truth. Do you think that's crazy? I think it's possible. Do you think it's true? Let me know down in the comments. Oh, I thought my battery was gonna die and it didn't. I'm so glad, but I think it's about to go out. This is Robert Anton, RobertAnton.com. I will see you all tomorrow night. for more of the battles.